Tonight, I wanted to talk about the question of the week and then go into a long meditation. So we usually do long meditation towards the end of the month, but we haven't done one in like 6 weeks by now because there were a couple that there was one that I wasn't here for, and then I had so much exciting stuff to talk about that we're going to go ahead and do a long meditation tonight. And the question of the week is about change, and it's a specific question. I'm not going to get the wording exactly right, but it is: do you make change gradually or immediately? Explore this and give examples, which I don't remember writing that, but I think it's funny. It's like a very involved question of the week. So you don't need to submit this like in a book report and cite your sources, but you do want to recognize, I think all human beings have at least a little bit of this tendency to change, to like change, and tendency to be afraid of and avoid change. And thus, sometimes we'll change more easily and immediately. Sometimes we'll change more gradually because we're kind of resisting against it. But you'll notice if you start ticking off examples in your head, you'll recognize like, oh boy, I really am resistant to change. I am constantly trying to avoid change, or I love it. I'm constantly changing things as quickly as I can. I need that. I need that kind of entertainment value of things getting changed up and being different. I get bored too quickly. And I would say for myself, I probably tend a little bit more towards the resistance against change, at least in my natural kind of state. But martial arts has made me a lot better at accepting. First of all, just on a philosophical level, one of the best things that I heard early on in my practice with my Sifu is that change is inevitable. There really is no way in life to avoid it. Life goes like this. It has ups and downs, and it doesn't. This is such an oversimplification, because it also goes like this, and it also goes like this. It's like you don't know where you're going to be at any given time for at least something in life. Yet there are some things that we can really count on, and this saying that I heard my Sifu said is, be anchored in that which is changeless. And I'm pretty sure he didn't make that up, but it's really wonderful. This is absolute wisdom. If you're trying to be anchored in something, you should not be anchored in something that is constantly in flux, because that's not how an anchor works. It's like you're sailing and you drop your anchor halfway down and you're like trying to be anchored in the waves. Your boat's still going to move. So if you can find something in your life, maybe it's your practice, maybe it's, family, relationship, maybe it's a career or a job, whatever it is, something that you can really anchor yourself to, then you feel this sense of security, which is very important as human beings. We crave that stability, because without stability, things feel like they're dangerous. If we don't know what to expect next, that's stressful for us, because we're constantly in this kind of survival mode where it's like, I gotta know what's happening next. And so for many people, we like to have our routines. We like to know what we're going to do day in and day out. We drive the same way to work. We drive the same way back to work. We eat the same thing for lunch. There were, I think, 2 years of my life where I ate the same protein shake with the same ingredients in the same amounts every single morning for breakfast. And you know what? I loved it every day. It was delicious and it was healthy. But I think it wasn't good for my digestion. So I had to switch it up. Now I eat it every other day. And the other days I eat oatmeal. But we really are creatures of habit, and that's not necessarily all bad. Where it becomes a problem is when we are really attached. And then when the true nature of our lives and the universe comes out and we start to experience this flux, because we are attached and we're stuck and we're unable to flow with it. So we can look at the way that this shows up in our physical practice. It's all over the place. Let's say that Zelda is my partner. Get over here. And I'm trying to do the first technique on my partner. She grabs me and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go like this and do EQ. But my partner, get over here so they can see this. But my partner doesn't let me do this because she starts to turn that way. And I go like, oh no, I don't know what to do. Nobody's ever done that to me before. I just lost it because I'm stuck on doing it one way. But if I go here and my partner turns that way, then I've got something else that I can do. My partner resists that, and then I've got something else that I can do. So there's always some kind of way. You can flow from one technique into the next. And it's something that sometimes I think is easier to feel, and you are relaxed, you're physically relaxed. You can have a tight grip on your partner's hand, but if your whole body is tense, you are stuck. You cannot flow if you're tense. If you can feel it in your physical practice, then you will likely be able to feel it in a maybe slightly less obvious way just in life. Because you know what feeling stuck is. It feels, you feel stagnant in a way where it's like it will affect your mood. It will affect your energy level. You will just constantly feel like disappointed or frustrated. So we want to be relaxed and be able to flow with whatever situation life throws at us. That being said, it's certainly easy to go too far in the other direction. So if I was doing that drill with Zelda, but I never actually got a hand position and we're just like this, and we're just like, there's no actual technique. I'm not able to connect at all. That's no good. And this is the way that life can sometimes feel as well. You're just constantly being tossed about and there's nothing that you have to anchor yourself. So find something. I think for a lot of people, this is their spiritual practice, their religion. I think for me, my martial arts is my spiritual practice. I see in my own life and in the lives of a lot of students, the same kind of thing that some people get if they have a really strong faith and really follow their religion, where it's like things can get thrown at you and sometimes you move out of the way, sometimes they hit you, but either way, you're not completely knocked off balance. You have this feeling, this sense of stability. You're anchored in something that where you know that no matter what happens, you are okay. This is not going to kill you. And even if it does, you're all right, depending on what you believe. But I think, unfortunately, this is something that for a lot of people is very hard to find. To find that stability and that thing to be anchored to is tricky. So I can't tell you what this is for you. You can kind of look for it and explore. Maybe you have already found something, or maybe you've experienced something in the past, but you didn't really pursue it. So find that thing and be able to hold on to it, but not attached. And the difference between attachment and like having a commitment or having that anchor is attachment it's got to be exactly this way. And I have a very specific idea of exactly the way that it goes. That's never going to happen. Just like in practice, right? We try technique one, that doesn't work. We have to transition to 2 or 3 or 4 techniques before something actually sticks and works. So being committed to something is distinct from being attached. Commitment is like, this is my intention, and if it doesn't work out exactly the way that I had envisioned, I can quickly pivot and flow with whatever's happening. It's very hard to be committed and to flow without some kind of an anchor, without something to keep you present and ready and feeling safe. So I'm about to be done talking because we're going to do a longer meditation. I like to think of my meditation practice as one of the greatest anchors in my life, because as long as I have the ability to breathe and be conscious, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep for most of my life, things have got to be real bad if I can't breathe and I'm not conscious. And I think if one or both of those things is not happening, I don't really have anything to worry about because I'm probably dead or in a coma and it's fine. I'm not aware enough to be stressed by the situation if I'm not conscious. So if I can breathe and I can be conscious of the breath, then I can meditate. Maybe I'm in a hospital bed, maybe I'm stuck on an island or I'm in prison or whatever, but I can breathe, I can meditate. Now, that for me is enough. For many people, maybe it's not enough, but this is something to consider, is the situation that you feel like you have to have in your life to be happy or to be powerful. If that is very detailed and you have to have certain things a certain way, that is an attachment. And attachment is a problem because we know that it's not realistic to hold on to things exactly the way that we want them. So meditation is a great way to practice this, right? We have a thought and we get attached to it often. If it's for a moment and we let it go, great. That's practicing letting go of attachment. That's practicing. Meditation is kind of in this way, simultaneously practicing flow and non-attachment, but also anchored. We're anchored in the breath. We're anchored in the moment. And when a thought comes in and knocks us off of the breath and kind of takes away our meditative state, then we let that go and we come back to it. So whether you, when you do your introspection, find that you are somebody who is very easily accepting change and you change immediately, or you find that you are very hesitant, resistant, and you don't like change and you fight against it as much as you can, there's something in meditation for both of you. No matter who you are, you can really enjoy being anchored in the breath, or you can really enjoy the coming and going of the breath and the letting go of that attachment to thoughts. So no excuses for anybody. Sit comfortably. I'll leave you can turn off the lights, man, but we will leave the feed on for anybody who wants to meditate along with us. Remember to have your back straight. If you're sitting cross-legged, make sure that your knees are not sticking up too much. So keep a good, easy position where your knees are even or below your hips. Your spine is straight, your shoulders are rolled back, your hands can be upturned at the hips, or you can have them in other positions, but don't let them slide down so that your posture slouches. Your chin is parallel to the ground, and your eyes are closed. Spine straight, eyes upturned to the point between your eyebrows. So the correct position for the eyes is not crossed, it's just gently raised. If you have a hard time getting this position with your eyes, maybe you feel your eyes are crossing because you have a headache. Maybe you feel your eyes constantly kind of drifting or going down. Then a couple of ideas. One is you can imagine in your mind's eye, you can visualize that space on your forehead between your eyebrows, what we call the third eye. And just by visualizing that place, your eyes will naturally raise. You can also, if you're still not getting it, you can open your eyes and look off into the distance at something that's roughly in the center of your vision, but that's raised up. So like above your head height, but not super high. You don't want to roll your eyes back to a painful position. And then once your eyes find that spot, close them again and try to keep your eyes closed the entire time during meditation. We'll begin with a breathing exercise. And this is a great practice to do before meditation or any time you can, any excuse you can make to practice deep diaphragmatic breathing is great. So this is wonderful to stimulate the vagus nerve, which regulates your mood and digestion and other things. This is important for the health of your nervous system. So begin with all the breath out. Breathe in through the nose. Hold it at the top for a few seconds. And breathe out through the nose or the mouth. So as you breathe in, do it from the belly. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. Last breath. In deep. Hold. And fully exhale. Now let the breath come in. Let the breath go out. If you're struggling to hold your focus during your meditation and your mind is constantly wandering, you can come back to breathing deeply and counting the breaths, maybe counting the number of seconds as you inhale and exhale. After 5 or 6 breaths, then let go of that breathing exercise and return to your meditation. You have no judgment on how you're breathing, no judgment on the quality of your meditation. You just breathe. Be like an outside observer, feeling the breath, watching the thoughts come and go. Be anchored in that breath. Be anchored in that changeless consciousness.